What's going on? It's your boy Tam. So I'm headed to work, running late. I don't care. I've been there for 10 years, so I got it like that. But nevertheless, I wanted to talk about this coming event on Saturday. David Benavidez, Demetrius Andrade, and I will say this much. I'll say this much. I don't have nothing to complain about as far as the undercard go, because the undercard is decent. The undercard is decent. So, at the end of the day, you can't just be one of these guys that complain just to be complaining because you've had issues with this particular brand, this particular company, the people that run the company and stuff. So you gotta keep it honest, and that's something that I'm going to do. I have no problem with this particular card. I have no problem with the undercard. So, at the end of the day, I don't know how much is the overall pay-per-view. At least you got your money's worth for this particular card. You got a good main event. You got a good co-main event, and then you got a good undercard. So, with that being said, there's nothing to complain about. And then I got something else I'm going to share the day of the fight, but I want to wait, because I done been down this road before and had them only to, pull the wool from under me. So, and basically snake me. But I'll let you guys know on Saturday what's up. But nevertheless, in particular, I wanted to talk about specifically Demetrius Andrade. Just basically, finally, at age 34, 35, he gets to fight on the big stage. He finally gets his own, pay-per-view showdown with David Benavidez. Both men got a lot to lose. Demetrius Andrade, a lot of people believe that, for the most part, the last, you could say, between 6 to 10 years, he's been arguably one of the best fighters not to ever crack the top 10, pound for pound. And that's because of, career choices, allegedly, and then just other things. Not being able to secure the big fights with some of the more bigger names. The Triple G's, the Canelos, the Charlos, guys like that. And some people, depending on who you talk to, is of his own doing and stuff. Him signing with bad promotional companies, bad matchmaking, and then just, bad management. All this is alleged. But, I had a couple of people behind the scenes confirm some of this stuff that I was told years ago about, why his career didn't go the way it should have. But, that's not my business to tell, But I've heard some things. But, I'm not going to sit up here and put out rumors about, a dude unless he confirms it. But this is just what I've heard. So what I mean by this is his first, only, and possibly last chance to, establish himself. Now, he has a very tough and tall task ahead of him. And by the way, I want to say something. I was looking at Demetrius Andrade and David Benavidez. They basically look like they're the same height. And I've seen Demetrius Andrade in person. I know they tried to list that dude at around 6 feet or 6. That dude is clearly around 6 feet 2. We all knew David Benavidez was 6'2", maybe even 6'3". But looking at them two dudes face to face, yeah, Demetrius Andrade is a legitimate 6'2" or something. I don't know why they have him listed at 6'1". That dude is 6'2". That dude is easily 6'2". Him and Benavidez looked like they was basically the same height. We always knew that Benavidez was tall, but he just never really fought nobody that was basically the same height as him until Andrade. But with that being said, I think Saturday it's going to be a lot of pressure on these two dudes to perform, because after the debacle that happened last Thursday, which it was a debacle with Shakur Stevenson, and no matter how much Shakur Stevenson want to make it look like people that kind of stuff, it was just a bad showing, and Shakur Stevenson gonna have to take it. At the end of the day, the same way he have a right to voice his opinion, we have a right to voice our opinion. And like I said, this new generation of these young men, and I'm gonna talk about that in a separate video about Shakur Stevenson, because Shakur Stevenson listens to my channel, and I keep saying to Shakur, even though you can make an argument some of these attacks pre-fight, I think were a little unjust, because a lot of these dudes, what they want to do is that they're aligned with a particular fighter, and a particular fighter give them more access than another fighter. They're just gonna just basically champion for the fighter that give them access. Me, I don't roll like that. I don't care where I got access to a dude or not. And like I said, I'm not in no gang, and I don't have no leader, so I don't follow nobody. I don't take orders from nobody. I say and put out whatever content I want to, and I don't, and that's just basically it. But, I'll speak on Shakur Stevenson later on. But there is a lot of pressure on these dudes to give us a good fight, because, like I said, last Thursday, that was bad. It was bad. I was there. I covered the fight. I saw what was going on. And you just have to tell the truth. No matter how much you like somebody, you just got to keep it a buck. But I think it's going to be a little more pressure on Demetrius Andrade to try to win this fight, because after all, what's next for him? What do we do next? Does he go into a fight with Caleb Plant? Does he fight David Morrell? Does he finally secure a fight with Canelo? And Canelo has vowed not to ever fight Demetrius Andrade. There was rumors that Canelo said that he would vacate the belt if they try to force him to fight Demetrius Andrade, which that's kind of not a good look for Canelo to say something like that. Becomes the mandatory for Canelo that Canelo has to fight the winner of this fight next. Now, according to the WBC, but we know how the WBC get down. They'll change their mind at the drop of a dime. They'll say one thing and then they'll do another. They'll say, oh, okay, well, he's meant, then they'll turn right back around. Okay, well, we talked to the parties involved. This dude has to fight one more fight, and then if he doesn't fight this dude, then we'll see. I won't believe that Canelo fighting the winner of this fight until I actually see them standing next to each other promoting the fight, having a press conference. I done been down this road with Canelo too many times, and whether people like it or not, whether Canelo fans like it or not, Canelo has been very hesitant to get in the ring with David Benavidez. Canelo has had at least 3 chances to fight David Benavidez, and he's elected not to. Now, if he call himself basically trying to stall him out and, push the fight back, I think that favors David Benavidez more than it favors Canelo, because at the end of the day, David Benavidez is 26 years old. He has the experience. His resume is decent. And it doesn't matter whether, Canelo stopped Caleb Plant and David Benavidez didn't. Well, David Benavidez should have got a stoppage. And David Benavidez was losing to Caleb Plant probably the first 4 or 5 rounds, and Canelo was losing to Caleb Plant. I know scoring wise they had Canelo ahead, but Most people that was observing that fight thought that Caleb Plant was winning that fight until, well, basically until he got stopped, until he basically ran out of gas, he got caught, and then he got stopped. I don't care what the Showtime judges or the judges that's judging the fight say. I go by what I saw. Many times that we argued against what the judges, saw a fight, or how they saw a fight, and what were their final tallies when it was time to decide the winner of the fight. So don't try it. Don't use that argument to try to make a point. So with that being said, I'm just looking at Demetrius Andrade, and every time I look at this dude, I look at the skills, his abilities, but then you do have to wonder, is it too little too late? Just whether people like it or not, David, then you have to make that argument. Well, damn. You have to make that argument. Okay, well, if David Benavidez beats up Demetrius Andrade, stops him, now does that make David Benavidez in the pound for pound discussion? Because I think he's scratching the surface. I think he's floating around that 11 and 12 surface, but who knows? Some people believe that Shakur Stevenson, based off his performance, should be taken off the pound for pound list. But that's another video for another day. I may do that video this weekend, but like I said before, a lot of people are gonna ask the question, okay, well, let's just say if Demetrius Andrade pulls this off, once again, well, what does he do next? Some people have accused Demetrius Andrade of not having a fan-friendly style, but I can't recall him being in a boring fight, because he does drop people. Now, a lot of times he doesn't finish people off, but he does accumulate enough power to at least make you think. Now, he says he's going to go in there. He says he's going to be a little bit more. He says that he might try to stop David Benavidez. But like I said before, this is going to be a very interesting fight. But I do think the pressure is going to amount for these two guys to give us a great fight based off what happened, last Thursday. You just have to tell the truth. Last Thursday, it just was a stinker. I blame both men. I know a lot of people just want to put this all on Shakur Stevenson, but like I said, it takes two people to fight. When you have a boxing match has two people fighting. Two people are assigned to fight. At the end of the day, you have to. That's what boxing is all about. It's called boxing. You have to find a way to box somebody down, or find a way to outbox them. That's why they call it ring IQ. You have to figure out how to best way perform and put yourself in a position to win the fight. So it is going to be a lot of pressure. It's going to be a lot of pressure for these two guys to give us an exciting fight, which I think is going to be a good fight. I think it's going to be a good fight. I don't think after 3 rounds you're going to hear some booing, because one thing about David Benavidez, even when he's out of range, he may try to at least attempt to throw a punch, because David Benavidez has told me, he done told several people, he said, look, I'm trying to sell tickets. He said, at the end of the day, I'm trying to sell tickets. Fans of him. Cool mentality to have. That he was featured on The Last Stand, because this may be his first and only stand to like really do something. Because you have to wonder, well, even if Demetrius Andrade, like, okay, let's just say he loses the fight, then what happens with him? Some people say he in a bad position if he wins. But at the end of the day, I would really focus, if I'm Demetrius Andrade, on going in there trying to win and win aggressively. Now, how I see the fight, I can see this fight going a lot of different scenarios. I can see that Demetrius Andrade could possibly pot shot, but land some big pot shots on Benavidez to where he could secure rounds and outbox him. And then I can see David Benavidez just overwhelming Demetrius Andrade with his punch output. Now, one person told me behind the scenes, I'm not going to say who he is, we had a conversation about this. He was saying that one thing about Demetrius Andrade that Benavidez might be able to explore. Andrade has had that apply. David Benavidez is one of those deceptively. But anyway, I just wanted to give you guys a quick briefing. I'll be back more later on.